If I'm well fitting you, like a good gapping would mean that like the total of the one club should bleed into the carry of the next. Meaning like a good 3-wood should in theory be in this kind of like, call it 230 to 240 space. What's been going on with your 3-wood?
Okay, so took it out of the bag.
Oh no.
Don't hit my 3-wood.
Why?
Shaft was just, it's terrible. I can't hit it. The shaft is really, really light, like too light.
Fair. So this is a 3.
Okay.
That was very good. Holy cow!
Yeah, that was. I don't know if I can do better than that. That was really good. Wow.
I would, if I had a mic, I would give it to you to drop.
That's great. I didn't even think I could hit it that far.
So perfect. Like total of the one bleeds into the carry, or you know, there, and then here to here, and then here to here. I mean, that is so perfectly gapped. So Katarina, we have you here today taking a look at the whole bag. We're at Club Champions HQ location in Willowbrook. Do you want to introduce yourself to the group here?
Yeah, so my name is Katarina Calabria, Nina for short. I am now a senior at North Central College. I play on the women's team, and I'm also a co-captain. And it's been the best couple of years of my entire life. And
we love that.
I've learned so much. I've gained so much knowledge. So yeah, I'm really thankful to be a part of this whole opportunity in group and school and knowing everybody. So
no, 100%. And I heard that you just won a tournament too, right?
I did. Yes, it was the last tournament of the season. I shot a PR of a 75.
Wow.
Thank you.
We love to hear that.
Yeah, I first place alongside a whole team win of first place.
But it's usually like when I'm doing my fittings with people, I don't often hear, yeah, I just had my PR and like won a tournament and I'm looking to come get fitted. But as we were kind of talking about off camera, you still know that even with how good you've been playing, there's still probably some improvement you could be making,
Absolutely.
right?
I'm always looking for, ways that I could better myself and, obviously technology and, how can I change my swing speed, swing direction, what clubs are going to make me, win more tournaments and shoot better scores. So,
no, 100%. Well, and you're in the right spot. So we had been talking, like your driver has probably been the area that you maybe want to focus on first just because it's been long, but it's maybe not been the most accurate, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So what's been, like, have you had more of a one-way miss? Like, have you been missing more blocky, more pulley?
My biggest miss will probably be like a push.
Okay, fair.
If I'm coming to inside, obviously it's going to be a pull, which is what I've been kind of doing with it lately.
Which would you rather see?
I don't like the big fade. I'd rather have a slight fade or a slight draw.
Okay.
Obviously, you're going to get more distance when you pull the ball, but it's inaccurate. So
no, 100%.
Slight draw, slight fade. If I can just maneuver my way in between those two shot shapes.
Well, good. Well, let's do this. We have you loosened up already, so let's have you hit me like 5 to 8 good shots, and we'll take your best 4 or 5. I'll walk you through the data. I'll let you know what I'm seeing, and then we'll kind of go from there if that works for you.
Perfect.
Good swing.
Just like that. The little pull.
So is that kind of the distance you're usually expecting? Kind of call it like mid 260s maybe, or like 260?
Yeah, total roll. I'll get about 260 out of it. Carry 230, 240.
Fair.
Yeah, and that's, again, that's perfect for the courses that we play.
Fair. Well, and to your point, if I know that tee is adjustable, if you like hitting that attack angle up, you can also get that tee higher if you wanted.
Okay. Yeah, it might be a little low.
Well, it's exactly what you've talked about. You said, okay, sometimes I get a little bit blocky like that one. Sometimes I get a little bit pulley. Neither of those are terrible, by the way.
You know what? They're in play. It's not by much.
No, we're still in the fairway.
Right.
That was quite good.
I hope so.
Yeah, just a little casual.
Oh, yeah, I'll
if you were doing that every time, you'd be making my job so difficult today.
I hope so, yeah.
That is a pretty golf shot.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're fast.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Again, a little low, but.
Yeah. Excellent. Very good. Okay. So, if I'm nice, which I am, I'll get rid of your worst here. It was a little bit spinny, but we'll keep that in mind. We'll say that, like, okay, on a miss, maybe a spin's a little bit too much, right?
Yes.
So first thing I always like to talk about is your circle dispersion, right? your best carried in that, 240s range, total about, to 263. It's fantastic. If you're doing that every time, like I said, there's not much of a need for me to be here. But we didn't see that that was every time. We saw that the average was a little bit lower. And then to your point, we saw a little bit right, a little bit left, which makes it kind of hard because if you're trying to specifically call out that shot, I would rather you miss more on this side or more on this side. So at least hey, half the golf course is taken care of, right? And I tell all my people, I am not a teaching pro, don't claim to be, but the left and right is a little bit more of that teaching pro swing thing, but we'll go over that. The more important thing is the north and south though, because the north and south is equipment for the most part.
Yeah.
So for the average here, what I like to always tell all of my people is I have access to this cool button called the Optimizer. The Optimizer tells us what we're capable of, right? I think a lot of people ask, whatever their age is, like, hey, what should I be hitting this? But as you know, there's a lot of factors to that, right?
Absolutely.
You might be really, really fit. You might be taller or shorter. You might have an injury. So that will affect what those numbers are. So this optimizer tells us, hey, if you're swinging at this speed, what should you get? And so if you're swinging at 96, this is why I say you're making my job difficult. When it flashes in blue, that means that's about as good as you should get. So usually you like to see this at the end of a fitting, I'll be honest with you. But as you saw, there's still circle dispersion. We tighten, and if I can get you more, I will. That's my job.
Yeah.
I don't mind a challenge. You're just definitely throwing down a gauntlet for me here, which is fine. If we see here the biggest culprit that we're seeing as a lack for why we're not getting like the full distance that we're seeing from you, though, is spin. Spin's a little high.
Okay.
Right? And now that might just be as simple as a golf ball switch to say, hey, maybe play a low spin golf ball compared to what you play currently. But if I can fix that through equipment without having to touch the golf ball, I will, because you don't want to use a golf ball that's only good for the driver and then maybe less good for the rest of the clubs, right? And why I had you swing faster on that last one is because I wanted to see if you were holding out on me and show you your full potential, right? The cool thing is this last swing, you didn't swing any different, which means that you're not holding out on me. The last time I did this to somebody, they picked up like 10 miles an hour club head speed, and it's like, oh, well, why don't you swing like that?
Yeah.
But you're swinging as you should. You're really consistent from that club head speed perspective, which makes sense. You're a great athlete. So for here, I don't really care how fast you swing, but the faster you swing dictates how far it potentially can go. Right, so if I did get you something lighter or longer, I noticed your driver was a little short. It's not crazy short, especially for a woman player, but it's 44.75. Okay. The longer a club is, the faster you can swing it. Now, the circle dispersion might vary. It might get a little wider, but the longer the club is, you're going to swing faster, have more potential distance.
Got it.
That's not the only way to get distance, though. As you may or may not know, ball speed is a measurement of how fast it comes off to face the club. Every mile an hour, there's like 2 to 3 yards in carry. So if we go from like a 143 person to closer to 150, you'll see tons of gains, right, in distance. Why I say you're making it difficult for me, though, is this thing called smash factor. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you know what PGA Tour average smash factor is?
I think 148 to 152.
Correct. Yes, it is. 100%. Legal limit's 150. So when you're at 149, you're good. You're very, very good. Now, the one thing I will say, though, is if we're greedy for a little bit more distance, which I am, right? Because as you may or may not know, Arcos, the sensors on the back of your clubs, the data scientist behind that has found that you'd rather be 20 yards down the hole and under a tree, like out of position, than 20 yards back in the middle of the fairway. You will tend to score better from up here, right? So my thought is that as long as I'm not getting you OB or wet, if I can get you more distance, I will.
Yeah.
And so then we look to people like the long drive people. How did they hit it so much farther? It's like, well, obviously they're swinging way faster than us, right?
More speed, yeah.
However, they also know to optimize their launch and their spin. They launch it really high so they can spin it really low, right? Now you are in this Goldilocks zone. If you're launching it neutrally, 12 to 14 like you are, spin should be 22 to 2400, which it is, right? If I'm greedy, I'd maybe get that down 200.
Yeah.
But if we found a way to get your launch up a little bit, then we can lower spin even more and you get free distance.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And not saying we need to, but especially since you told me, hey, Drew, I also see like a lower ball flight than I'd like to at times on the driver, maybe not the rest of the clubs, but on the driver, then that higher launch will kind of help with it, right? Height and land angle, pretty good. I mean, general height we want to see is 80 to 115 feet. Basically, however fast you're swinging is kind of roughly what I'm looking for. So if you're swinging at 96, 96 feet in the air is kind of like what we're expecting. But as you see from the optimizer perspective, you're right in that window, right?
Okay.
So I'm not really worried about that too much. And then mid to high 30s is the land angle that we should see. So that angle coming back to the ground. So like I say, you're making my job difficult, but we'll try here. Any questions on any of that stuff?
No.
Okay.
All
I mean,
stuff
yeah, all
I'm
stuff you're
pretty
familiar with.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I love TrackMan anyway.
No,
so,
100%.
yeah.
Well, and this is mainly for them, right? To kind of make sure that we're all on the same page before we move on here. Other things I'll talk about quickly, just how you swing, because it affects how I fit you. Attack angle tells me whether you're hitting down or up into it, right? You're hitting up like a long drive person. Like the best players will tend to be 2 to 5. Long drive people are even higher than that. So like you're right in that window. Club path, that's going to be the shape of shot, right? So you're a little over the top, a little negative, which will create a little bit of a cut usually.
Yeah.
You sometimes don't see that because your face gets a little shut and then it turns into pull, like we talked about.
Right.
And that's the last thing, this face to path and face angle. Face to path is in relation to how we swing. What's your face angle doing, right? And face angle is just the static, if I took a photo, what's going on. So on an average, the static thought there is you're 2 degrees shut. Because you're 4 degrees over the top, you're basically, it's like netting out to be about 2 degrees open, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So if I get you something that's a little bit more shut by nature, get that more square, your spin probably comes down, your ball speed probably comes up a little.
Yes, okay. That makes sense.
Any questions on any of that?
No.
Perfect, okay. Now, we're brand agnostic here. That's part of like the magic of coming here is that I don't really care what I get you fitted into as long as it's better. And you said you've kind of been having like some interest in Callaway generally, but you're open. I can start with Callaway if you'd like though.
Yeah, that'd
Cool,
be good.
okay. Can I see that real quick?
Yeah. Thank you.
So you are using the Callaway Paradym 10.5 set to 9.5 with the draw setting. So you're smart to put that draw setting on. If I'm being nitpicky, the only thing I really want to see is that spin comes down a little bit. So I'm maybe going to start you off with what's called the Callaway Triple Diamond Max, right? So Triple Diamond is Callaway's way to say it's a low spin head, but the Max is most forgiving, right? So we'll see how that starts. And I'm going to leave that head alone for a while while we cycle through some shafts, if that works for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so you're a strong player. But if I'm wanting a little bit more distance, sometimes I have to go a little bit lighter to try to promote a little bit more speed.
Okay.
I'm not going like crazy here, but I am Goldilocksing you a little bit. This is definitely baby bear. This is like on the lighter side. This is 40 grams, but it's still a stiff.
Okay.
Right? This is kind of unique that way. You might have heard of Ventus shafts before.
Yes.
They're really common.
Yeah.
Everybody is usually familiar with red, blue, and black, but white's the new one.
I have never seen white.
So basically all white is red but light. Red only goes as light as 50 grams. This can go to 40.
Oh, okay.
Right, but it's similar profile, right? So I have this set the exact same way that you have yours currently, 10.5 set to 9.5 with the draw setting. I also have weight in the heel. Yours is a little bit more centered, but you can't really put it centered. Unless you'd rather me on the toe, would you rather have that face shut a little easier?
Let's hit a couple like that now.
Fair. Smart answer. By the way, anything I put in your hands is going to take you a couple swings to get used to.
Yeah, for sure.
So don't worry if you hate that initially. Just give it the proverbial college try, and we'll kind of talk about what I'm seeing.
Okay. And you said this is a longer shaft, or
it is exact. Okay. I didn't actually say that, but I'm happy that you noticed
it. Oh
it,
yeah.
The longer a club is, the faster you can swing it. To be honest, this is a standard men's length shaft. If it feels too cumbersome, definitely choke down. You're not offending me. But the longer you can do it, the more swing you can get out of it. I'm actually just going to get this just out of the way here. Huh. Interesting. Interesting.
My ball speed went up by 2 at least, a little bit.
So I can tell you didn't try to swing any differently, right? But you swung a little faster. Your efficiency went up to the legal limit. The launch came up. The spin actually didn't even go down. And you did pick up immediately like 7 or 8 yards in terms of carry.
Yeah.
That's not nothing.
No.
And that's just you feeling it out, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a really good start though.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't look like it feels too long to you, right?
No, it actually feels fine.
Okay. Little Healy there maybe?
That was really spinny, yeah.
So, and you probably know this, but I'm going to say it for the audience in the sense that like anything under that center line or right of that center line causes spin, right? So to be fair, that's probably the worst spot to hit on a modern driver.
Oh yeah.
You still hit it great, it's still PGA Tour average, but that's where you're going to see that extra spin versus that first one, you caught literally perfect.
Yeah.
That's the ideal spot on a modern driver, and that's why ball speed went up and spin came down.
Right.
Also the caveat being if you want that to work, the face has got to be square or slightly shut.
Yeah.
That was shut just a little Healy, right?
Okay.
So I'll give you a mulligan on that one.
All right. That was probably toey too, or on the heel.
Yeah, a little Healy, but not bad. I mean, still went 250, dead straight.
There's that little.
So what I like actually is that now it's a tight circle dispersion. We're seeing that it's not variant like left and right.
Right.
But if I'm being nitpicky, which is the gig,
Yep.
I want to see that spin come down a little bit. Can I steal that head? I still like that head. I just want it to, this is a 10.5 set to 9.5.
Okay.
I'm gonna just give you the 9-degree head.
Okay.
To see if I can't generate a little bit more speed. Because
Gotcha.
you're not losing any of your height, right? Your height's just about the same.
Yeah.
That was very good.
Yes.
That's what I'm looking for.
Oh, look at that spin rate.
That's what I'm
too.
saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Oh my, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and you didn't even hit it in the perfect spot, but I think everybody that's watching this can see, yeah, it's pretty damn good.
I would say so.
I would take that.
I mean, yeah.
Let's do like a couple more, but I love what I'm seeing.
Okay.
How does it feel?
That felt great.
Okay. Excellent. Oh, just a little
That was.
open.
I felt that one off the face a little
But you
bit.
still, this is the thing. Your ball speed's still incredible. And if that's consistently like that, that's part of the reason I gave you that 9-degree head, because now I can set that to 8 if I wanted, because you're still that hitting that far up on it.
Right.
So give me one more there, and then I might even do that.
I know that's low. Yeah. That's
Still,
probably more
I don't
of a
mind that
swing
miss.
issue. Yeah.
And again, I like that it's a tighter circle so that you can start to maybe account for this club doing something more similar.
Yeah, for sure.
So if we're taking a look at, let's say the best like 3 or 4 out of that grouping, definitely saw potential for ball speed to, either stay the same here at no worse, but certainly ball speed 144 and 145 here.
Right.
I like that the launch is about the same. I also like that, again, we're looking at circles of dispersion, that it's more on that left side. I just want to see this happen a little bit more frequently if I can. So I'm going to steal that real quick if you don't mind. I'm going to go even a little lighter.
Perfect.
There's a 30-gram stiff that I'm going to try. So that is also still a stiff, but now I'm taking off another 10 grams of weight.
Okay.
Launches up.
Oh boy.
It's okay, a little blocky. Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And I like that your carry is starting to climb a little bit too.
Spinny.
Can I steal that for a sec?
Go
I just
ahead.
want to try to make it a little stronger lofted to encourage if you're gonna miss hit it, that it's gonna have less spin.
You know what? I get like that when I get over the top. Obviously, like that's.
Oh, I didn't mean it even for that one. I was thinking about it even for the best one you just hit a moment ago. So don't worry. That's not me saying, oh no, that's actually me being impressed and being like, oh, I can actually get her something stronger.
Yeah.
Right, because this is now a 9-degree head that I've set to 8.
Okay.
Which I think you can 100% handle.
Oof. Spin wasn't terrible, but.
Nope. Well, and here's the thing. That's an 8-degree head now that you still hit 93 feet in the air.
Oh man.
So what I do like is that, like, from a consistency perspective, like before you came in and your driver was like, 230 carry and 260 total, but like plus or minus like 5.5 and 3.5. Now I like that it's more consistently getting these yardages, right? But we're talking about a couple yards here.
Right.
I do like to see that it's a tighter circle, and I don't necessarily mind if it's on that right side. It's just kind of like whatever shot you would like to see, right?
Yeah.
Would you like to see more of this left side, or would you like to see more of that right?
I think I just like hit right for so long. I hate it. I hate the way it looks.
Okay, good. That's why I asked, right? Because to your point, the other thing too is that like the best ones of this, the previous shaft, were faster.
Yeah.
Right. So like, and what's interesting is they were faster and they didn't have a right to be because it was with a less loft, right? That had 9, and then we bumped it just to 8 just to now.
Yeah.
So can I steal that from you?
Yeah.
I think here we want to maybe see a little bit of that weight back so you can help close that face down.
Yes.
I appreciate you humoring me though for the lighter one. Okay, this one's a little bit heavier. This is 45 grams.
Okay.
So it's 5 grams heavier than that first shaft that and correct me if I'm wrong, you like that first shaft better than the second one, correct?
Yeah.
Good, okay. So it's more similar to that first one in terms of weight.
Okay.
It is a regular flex, but like again,
Yeah.
I don't know if you're actually gonna feel that much of a difference between these guys.
Oh man, I haven't seen this in a while. I'll be honest with you.
Oh no.
Yeah, I have a tournament at Elgin, June 1st and 2nd.
Don't worry about it too
Monday,
much.
Next Monday and Tuesday.
Keep in mind that these are not your clubs, right? So
You're
we're
right.
trying to illustrate what the difference is of shaft. So if it's
Absolutely.
more consistently doing that from a shaft, guess what? Ventus was not doing that.
Okay.
And neither was yours.
Yeah, absolutely. Slight pull, I would say.
I mean, because you're over the top, that's a pull cut. I mean, that's very good.
I mean, I will take that. any
Well,
day.
here's the thing. You better, because it can't go any farther if you swing that fast.
Okay, well,
That's as
okay.
good as you got unless you give me another gear.
All right.
That's very good. Yeah, another really good
Even
one.
that is
No,
totally fine.
I'm very okay with that. That's only a 15-yard fade, right? And
Yeah.
so you'd be aiming up that left side and cutting it back
Absolutely.
anyway, right? I mean, it's pretty good. 143 ball speed, but just it's spinny.
Yeah, it is.
Little low heel. It's a
Low.
little strike, but like it's a tight circle.
Oh, that's so blocky and right. Yep.
To your point, though, I do think I just like that first one a little bit better because it just offered
The
like
first one, yeah.
the legal limit's hard to get to, and we're there with three different with three different shafts.
Mm-hmm.
But the only one that I'm seeing like faster than yours is that first one.
Absolutely. Yeah,
I'm gonna steal that from you if you don't mind.
yeah, go ahead.
And we're gonna try going back to that, and we'll try a couple other heads for sake of argument if you're down for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is there anything you explicitly really wanted to try? Because I know obviously Callaway was top of mind, but
You know what? It's hard for me to stray away from what I know, but
Fair.
again, whatever you think is
Okay.
best, please let me know.
No, of course. So for this one, this is the TaylorMade Qi4D LS. LS standing for low spin technology, right? So designing to hopefully get you a little bit down. I'm gonna leave it at 9 for now because what I've done is I've actually set it to the upright setting so that it looks a little bit more shut,
Okay.
so that hopefully you don't see the dreaded blocky shot that you don't like to
Yeah.
see, right? But back to our favorite shaft.
Okay.
That's pretty good. Ooh, look at that carry. Holy
was
cow.
great.
That's your best carry of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, your best carry to this point had been like 41-ish. This is now closer to 43.
Cool. You know what? I actually always hit the ball pretty high.
Yeah. Well, and to be fair, that's great because if you're hitting it that high, I can give you an even stronger lofted driver. I can bend that stronger.
Okay.
Ball speed comes up, spin comes down, launch comes down a little bit, height comes down a little bit, but you get more out of it.
Right.
Right? That was fast. Really, really accurate too.
That's great.
Literal line ball.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
And if that looks familiar to this one, it's because the shaft's the same, right?
Okay,
So-
yeah. That probably is a pull.
Then, I mean, a smidge.
244.
I mean, a smidgen. I mean, like for reference, this is 25 yards to the left. But like, if you're consistently doing that, then
Oh,
maybe you
yeah.
start pivoting and aiming
Again,
right about here, right?
I don't know. Fairways aren't that tight, so we could.
You look confident with this.
Oh, I love this. This
Good.
is great.
Softer feel than the Callaway too,
Oh my
right?
gosh, absolutely.
Little open face, maybe?
Yeah, I felt it.
Well, a smidge. Here, let me steal that because I want to make it just a smidgen stronger loft.
Okay.
Because right now, what I have done, or like I said, I had set it slightly shut faced. I want to see what happens when I make it a little strong lofted.
Okay.
When you're swinging at 96 miles an hour, this computer actually thinks you can get closer to this out of it. Spin, it's saying, and height, it's saying are a little high.
Okay.
And ball speed's a little low, which is why I made it stronger lofted. Because when I
it.
go stronger lofted, this drops, this drops, this drops, in theory.
Yes.
And it spins a
Yeah, that was
little low
low.
now. Okay. Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is.
That's pretty
actually.
cool. You want to give me a couple more like
Yeah.
that? That's a little something, something. From a total perspective, that's a little bit different than everything else we've seen to this point.
Yeah. Definitely is.
It's flatter.
Way.
It's down. I think I've gone a little too strong in
Okay.
terms of the loft here. Can I steal that one more
Yep.
time? Sorry. This is the fine tooth comb thing that we love to do with this.
Yeah.
Because what I did was like the way that TaylorMade's like adapter system works is that it's like based on tick marks. It's not like Callaway that you're used to where it's just plus or minus 1 or whatever. This is on this kind of sliding scale, and it will open and shut the face a little bit too.
Okay.
So I'll show you. Because we had set this originally to upright setting, which is just going to shut the face as much as possible. Then I went just one stronger or like one away from the 2 degrees strong. So I'm going to go just one back closer to standard because that's the only setting we haven't really tried.
Yeah.
Like we tried standard, we tried almost as strong as it goes, and I think there's a Goldilocks right in the middle that we should be able to get.
Okay.
How does this feel compared to the Callaway?
I hate to say it, but I like it better.
Good. Okay. Well, I mean, this is good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's phenomenal. That is phenomenal. So good.
That was
Look
good.
at you. The longest totals of the day in blue here. Oh, just a little thin.
A little bit.
I think maybe that T had dropped. See, that's why we're hitting it a little low. Okay, the T has dropped a little bit because your attack angle is going up, which is great. That's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, T that. Give me one where it's like almost as high as it goes, and I think you will be.
That's as
Yeah, good.
high as it goes.
Good, good, good. A little Healy maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little Healy. Yeah, see, look at your attack angle. Now, see, and that's the tricky thing about going higher in T is that sometimes our brains see that and we chase it, right?
Yeah.
Where it's just like you see it higher and then your brain's like, okay, well, let me lean and lean and lean. And then, so like this is long drive stuff, which if you time it up, it can be fantastic, but
Yeah.
And by the way, that's still not a terrible miss. Like 250 out there on the left is not upsetting, but.
Nah, we want more.
Yeah.
Or a lot. Yeah, it's low.
And
I don't know.
that's probably why you could make the argument that I would need to just set that back to the first setting that we had it.
Yeah.
Here, do you want me to switch it to that?
Yes, let's try that.
Because we're trying to get a little greedy for more distance here, which is cool. I mean, you see that it's available. You pick up like potentially as much as like 6-7 yards in terms of total, but you lose it in carry, which I think, to your point, I like these towering shots for you that carry in the mid 240s. That's fantastic. As you know, we play in Illinois, so like it's wet all the time, and we can only rely on carry.
That's exactly. I don't pay much attention to my total. Like, I don't know. My dad's always like, "Oh, total 2 whatever." I'm like,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, I love. There's that launch up. Now you didn't finish the swing, but it was cool.
Nah.
Better.
Again,
I love a miss that still goes like that
higher.
high.
That was. I mean, the second I hit that, I knew it was gonna be a slight miss,
you're
but
good,
that was
you're good.
just fine.
Give me one last one with that one, and then I'm gonna try a different head.
Okay. Oh yeah.
And what I also like is that it's hugging that center line. It's not quite as fast as the first time that we
Yeah.
saw it hit, but you see that if you wanted it to have that more rollout, awesome. But I like you where you are currently
I like that a lot.
in this.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Same.
So let's do this. Can I steal that for a second? I'm gonna try one more like low spin specific head for
Okay.
you. So we'll try in this Cobra head just to see if there's anything there. I love this because it's got a ton of adjustability. What I've set it to is F1, meaning it's gonna be a little bit strong and it's gonna be a little shut face because I know you don't like to see a block.
This is more so like my swing, I think, really,
Fair.
for the most part. I can feel myself getting a little over the top.
Yeah, immediately I don't like it as much.
No.
Here, do you want to pull it? Sometimes you can tell pretty quick.
Yeah, let's just
Okay.
do that.
So unless there's anything else you wanted to
Where
hit.
was that on the face?
A little bit, a little Healy. But that's maybe a nitpicky, right?
That really, it's not like terrible.
No,
but-
not at all. But you see that even here it was spinning that high, which TaylorMade and Callaway, neither of those spun that much. So if we go back to the table here, you know, the differences here, like massive. This is still spinning more than your current one. And your current one isn't a low spin specific head, right? This is, so it should spin less. Then you've got these three, which really are just two. It's Ventus white in the upright setting with the TaylorMade stronger lofted, which if you wanted a little bit more rollout, and then the triple diamond. But this still kind of shows itself as unique. The fact that, like, cool, we pick up a little bit in total, awesome. But like the bigger deal is that you're picking up like a full club and carry difference. Yeah. Like for a club, to be honest with you, I wasn't expecting that. Like when people come in with drivers that are as relatively new as yours is, like yours is only a couple of years old, a good driver should last you kind of in that kind of 4 to 6 year window, like where you're not going to see that much performance difference from stuff in that window. So the fact that we've picked up a full club and carry and you're still swinging the same kind of angle of attack, that you're still swinging the same kind of speed. And by the way, this is a lot lighter, so I have the thought that you're probably going to start to swing this faster when you're used to it.
Absolutely.
Your current driver, I want to say, was like 60 grams.
It was 60, yeah.
Yeah, so this is 40, right? So inherently, there's going to be some speed there because it's longer and lighter. My only thought, you know, if you wanted to hit this again, you absolutely can. Otherwise, I say let's move on to, you know, Fairywood.
Yeah.
Did that work for you?
Absolutely.
Cool, okay. What's been going on with your 3-wood?
Okay, so took it out of the bag.
Oh no.
Don't hit my 3-wood shaft.
Why?
It's in my car actually. It's terrible.
What's terrible about it?
I can't hit it. The shaft is really, really light, like too light.
Fair.
I have a 4 hybrid and a 7-wood that also isn't mine. So I was using that.
That's not yours, you said?
7-wood's not mine.
Okay.
It's everything else is Callaway, and that's the title is 7-wood.
Interesting. Okay, well, can I see the 7-wood?
Yeah.
Whose is it if it's not yours?
Oh, it's the other captain's.
Oh, okay. Is she gonna miss that?
No.
Well, she doesn't know what hurt her.
She knows it's hers.
Sure.
Like she goes, use it for the spring and give it back to me when you can.
Right. Well, to your point, if you don't have a 3-wood, it's going to be hard to have gaps, right?
I had 3-wood 4 hybrid.
Right.
That's it. I only go up to a 6-iron.
Oh.
So there is a big gap.
Ooh, okay. Well, we'll work on that. Well, that's honestly going to be an even bigger deal than the 10 yards we just gained you in carry on your driver, to be honest. Yeah, and I can't let you leave here without a 3-wood because it's like that's so important. Even with how long you are.
I took it out of the bag. It's been a year.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's see what the 7-wood's doing. It gives us a good baseline for we need longer than this, but shorter than the driver.
Yeah.
Okay. For reference, pretty good. Like, as a matter of fact, you're doing better than you really should do.
Oh, great.
High launch, low spin, which, cool, that almost behaves as, if that's consistent, almost as like a 5-wood anyway.
What should the spin be with this, you know?
Like around 4,000.
4,000.
I mean, and you could, to your point, a great question, you could tell from this, right? So like if you're looking, depending on what kind of trajectory you have a high trajectory person, so it's expecting the spin to be higher. But to be honest, I don't care because you're still holding greens very quickly. We're rolling into a fairway, so like, for instance, when I fit you to a 6-iron later today, if it's holding greens, it's going to be within 10 yards. So I know if that's stopping within 9, that's stopping like a 6-iron ideally would, and that's a 7-wood. So that's some great stopping power there.
Okay.
And you're still getting a good amount of distance out of it.
Yeah, this was just a random, Madison, can I use your 7-wood? Because I took my 3-wood out of the bag.
Fair.
So, I mean.
Right.
I honestly don't really find myself, like, ever
needing
having
more?
to need the 3-wood.
Fair.
I love my 4 hybrid. Like, so it's my favorite club in the bag. I'll use it from any distance.
I want to see that too, so that we can kind of see how these gap together. But yeah, hit me like 4 or 5 of these if you don't mind. Pretty good. The only issue is that like that's so good here that like then you're like, okay, well, does the club go like 215 or does it go like 2?
True.
So then it's like you can't trust it so much.
Exactly.
With that aspect. So like, we'll give you like, can you give me like maybe one more swing? But I see why you like it. You are hitting it well. Good swing.
Little pull. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking, like every single one of these is fully blue, with the exception of like you know, this one, which is still like actually doing better than it should by about a club, right? So, you know, on an average, you're carrying it like, you know, 191, you know, and then on an average, it's tolling, you know, call it low 200s.
Yeah, that's like, I have that gap. So like if I hit my 6-iron in the fairway, I mean, I'll probably get about like 165, over 170 rollout, but I don't know if like I need like a 220 club or like.
And that's exactly what I was going to ask. I was like, you're long enough where I don't know how often you have that, but like I at least want to fit you for it so that we do have access to it if we want it, right?
Absolutely.
There's certain golf courses where it's not a question you need it. It's just like, now, do you play it all the time? Like, probably not, and that's why you've been able to pull it. But to your, like, if I'm well fitting you, like a good gapping would mean that like the total of the one club should bleed into the carry of the next. Meaning like a good 3-wood should in theory be in this kind of like, call it 230 to 240 space. And then like theoretically a 5-wood would be, you know, call it that 220 that you're talking about. So maybe
exactly,
maybe it's just a 5-wood versus a 3, but
right.
All the wall that I have, all the shafts are all like 3-wood length. So like let me build something up for you. So this is a 3.
Okay. Oh, that's heavy.
And that's what I was afraid of.
That is a little heavy.
For good and for bad for you, there's a lot of heavier options. I'm probably gonna back up from this, but
that's all right.
This is Papa Bear.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
Goldilocks-ing again, right? Better.
I haven't swung a 3-wood in.
Well, and this is the thing. Like, if you remember, ideal smash factor on a 3-wood is actually 145. Legal limit is
150,
right?
Yeah.
And if you're gonna swing that 3-wood at, actually, we'll do. You're more of a mid trajectory now person. You're getting more than you should. Ball speed's off the chart and it spins nice and low. Height isn't that crazy. I mean, I know it's a little bit to the right, but I have it set shut faced, right? So I've done what I can in an equipment perspective.
Yeah.
And by the way, it makes sense that typically you go driver and then 10 grams lighter on a fairy wood shaft. This is a 40 grammer. I would expect that to be a 50.
Okay.
All I have right now to test is a 60 gram stiff.
Oh.
So like, take my word for it that if you love this, I'll just make it 10 grams lighter than this, and you'll probably even get a little bit more speed.
Yeah.
But that 230, mid 230s for you means that most par 5s are now reachable again.
Probably low and right, yeah.
Man, I love seeing illegal smash factors from you. That's pretty cool. What's wrong? Hearing that you struggle with a 3-wood, I am shocked because you are killing this.
Yeah, I haven't hit a 3-wood in over a year.
Maybe you just needed a little bit of a break.
I needed a break for sure. That shaft is way too whippy.
Well, I mean, it shows you the power of a right fitting, right? Because you're getting like 10 yards more than you should on this.
Yeah.
And you're getting that mid 230s. I mean, that is incredible, actually. Legal limit smash factor here. The spin is wonderful. Height's wonderful. And I mean, this is not just my opinion, right? This is fully optimized.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's not a whole lot I'd change. So I'm going to steal that. I have the 50 gram regular flex version of this. I'd still probably go stiff because it would be weird to go like stiff and then regular and then back to stiff or whatever. But like, feel what this feels like in terms of a weight thing. If it feels a little bit better in terms of weight, I'll just make it the other way, right? I think it would make sense to keep it that same flex and then maybe just make it a little bit lighter. And if anything, guess what? You're going to pick up a little bit more speed.
Yeah.
And like, you're not going to hate that. As a matter of fact, you'd probably like it.
Yes.
Like immediately that did look easier to swing.
It did. Probably a little right, yeah. Let's fix that.
That was a very good swing. Holy cow.
Yeah, that was, I don't know if I could do better than that. That was really good. Wow.
I would, if I had a mic, I would give it to you to drop, right? Like that is incredible and dead straight, right?
That felt really good.
That was incredible. Give me like maybe 1 or 2 more, but I mean like we're done, like basically.
Wow. That's great. I didn't even think I could hit it that far.
Wow. Thanks for coming in, because like that's incredible.
Oh yeah.
That is absolutely incredible.
That's great.
It's just as tight of a circle dispersion as we saw on the new driver, but like now, like the fun thing is like the driver, like okay, you have your own driver that's doing still pretty good, like I said. to go from like not having something to having this lethal of a weapon is hilarious. And I mean, I thought this was fantastic, and you just smoked it. Like,
well, even on like I mean, there's short par fours that we play, right? So my only option if I don't want a 30-yard wedge in, you know, because it's causing me problems, my next thing in line is going to be my 4 hybrid, which still does fine, but I still, you know, you want the 100 yards in, you know, 90 yards in. So, like I said, I've been without a 3-wood for a long time. So
not anymore. I'm not letting you leave without that.
Yeah, this is great.
So my thought then is, like, here's the thing. When I see numbers this good, like when you're illegal or right at legal limit when you hit this, from a shaft perspective, it doesn't really make sense to change. But if you want to try out other heads, I can, because I want you to have the whole club champion experience, right? I want to try what makes sense to try, but to be honest with you, I can't imagine it going better than that.
I really like that.
Good. Well, and I mean, like, and if you're good with that, I'm also good with that, right? In the sense that, like, it matches with your driver.
It does.
And to be honest, like, here's the thing. You swing your driver, like, firmer, faster. Like, it makes sense for that to be a stiff. I don't know if I then make that a stiff. Like,
you would keep it at this?
Why would I change any of those numbers?
I agree.
Right? Like, I mean, and this is why I say, like, there's no governing body that says this is what a stiff is, right? I know you've been playing a stiff that actually feels like a stiff, but, like, this is a regular that's not, like, super whippy. You know what I mean?
Not at all, actually. Like, and maybe I don't feel it.
Right, and maybe that was the reason why you didn't get along with it before. Like, because here's the thing. You're playing a driver that's a 60-gram stiff. This was a 60-gram stiff, and this felt too much for you, right? So that makes it real easy. And then we just say, okay, well, that can go to 5 and or a 7 and or a 9 just as easily as it can a 3. And I mean, do you want to hit any? Do you want to try a ping for sake of argument? Are you good?
Yeah, I'm going to stay away from ping.
Okay, cool. You're allowed. That's why I ask.
Yeah, no, this is great.
Yeah, I agree. So now the cool thing is I actually have that head as a 5-wood. I don't have a 5-wood length. However, I can get a rubber band, pull it down so that you're choking down to like what you should play it from if you want to try it.
Absolutely.
Kind of see some of the gapping, right?
Please, yes.
It's now, this is kind of like a little bit of like a, you know, not perfect science in that way, but at least it gives you some kind of feel, right? And I will set it the same because I like this upright setting for you. It's the same setting we have in your driver. And that's the cool thing too, where it's like now it's going to be consistent from club to club.
Yeah.
Right? I'll be right back.
Okay.
That is so fun.
That is awesome. That's so cool.
So what I've done here for this for you is I put that rubber band about a ½ inch down. When you talk about a TaylorMade 3-wood, usually that's kind of, they actually do it more than most. They will take a full inch between their 3-wood and their 5-wood. Depending on what other manufacturers, sometimes it's a ½ inch. So I'm going to start a ½ inch to kind of see what that's doing. Yeah, that's kind of what that should do. I mean, look, I mean, well-gapped clubs, total bleeds into the carry of the next.
Absolutely.
Like, awesome. I mean, that is very good.
I like that, yeah.
Yeah, within 3 yards of each other. And in carry, it's within a ½ a yard.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah, it didn't even kill you, though.
No.
Caught it a little heavy, I guess, technically.
Caught it heavy, and it still went to 11-ish.
Yeah, we like that. Yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
You want to try the 7-wood?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So again, we're probably looking for this to go probably in like that kind of 210-ish range.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty good.
Actually, I think that would be pretty accurate with the 210.
Yeah, I mean it's a little far, but I mean also like I said, actually look at this is the issue. So before those first two with your current one, you're leaving it 1 degree open. Now you're 3 degrees open. So you're just getting a little stuck in the swing, I think.
Yeah, it felt better.
Yeah, just a little spinny. Go figure. Which, by the way, if that's the case, then maybe we set the driver, the 3-wood, the 5-wood all upright. Maybe I just strengthen the loft of this.
Yeah, maybe.
Bit. Yeah, it's just.
That's probably a little right.
Yeah.
Or
Which again, that's cool.
Not. I mean, I can hit a draw and be fine with that too, right?
And the other thing that I like too is that if you compare this to your current 7 wood, right? Like it's actually kind of comparable. And to be fair, your current 7 wood is kind of doing the number, but the problem is your 7 wood is like 6 yards and 7 yards. This is 2 and 2, right? So I like that this is more consistent in how it gets its numbers. It's going much higher and landing softer, right? So, but if anything, it's going slightly too high. So let me steal that for just a sec. Let me see what happens when I just make it like a smidgen stronger.
All right.
Because we actually saw that was pretty effective for you for the driver, where it really lowered your flights almost too much, right?
Too much, yeah. That's even. I mean, rollout was fine, but I like to see that higher.
I agree.
Ball flight.
Well, particularly for these clubs, right? Like when we're talking about a 5 and a 7 wood, and even a 9 wood if we went deep into this, which we don't really have to. I don't think. I think 7 wood's probably sufficient. But you do. I mean, you tell me. Like you could probably handle that just as well. I just know you like your hybrid, so like I don't want to take away your baby. I do like the hybrid. You know?
Yeah, I do. I will use that from like 100 yards from any chance I could get.
Yeah, like that looked better to me. Oh, if anything, a little too good.
Oh yeah, that was good. Is it like is that a good gapping? I don't know how.
It's a little close to that 5 wood, but to be honest, I mean, like that, you obviously hit the crap out of it. You hit it wonderfully. Yeah, I mean, both of those are really good. So
I honestly do like. I like the 5 wood a bit more than the 7.
Fair. The numbers they still work, right? Like if this is the only thing I would do now is like this is not doing enough. This is doing too much. Can I still not to be weird?
Go ahead.
Like, there is a hashtag or a dash right between these two where I did like 2 notches strong. I probably should have only done 1. I didn't think I was going to see enough of a change with 1, but I think that's all we'll need to do.
Yeah.
And again, it's not like you 100% need this right this moment. It's not like a crisis moment thing. Like you said, you're playing your friend 7 wood. But if it is hers, you'll probably have to give it back at some point.
Oh, I get it.
And I would just as soon have you have something that's more consistent for you anyway, which this is, right?
I mean, I didn't take it out a bunch this spring, maybe a couple times, and it did me well for the most part. But I love my 4 hybrids so much that I was just like scared to bust out the 7 wood.
No, I get it. And to your point, that's for good and for bad, that might be the issue with the 4 hybrid is that it might be just doing the same thing. And if
it's that gapping is not much different.
Well, and if that's the case, then we maybe just try to make your current 4 hybrid weaker so that there's more of a gap there.
Yeah.
And or I get you a different hybrid entirely that is weaker than that. Because the thing about the fairy woods is that they are longer, so they will you'll swing them faster.
Right. Oof.
A little bit of a tug.
Yeah.
Good. There you go. That's better. That's the number we want to see.
Yeah, that's good.
Like genuinely, so perfect. Like total of the 1 bleeds into the carry, or there, and then here to here, and then here to here. I mean, that is so perfectly gapped. And then honestly, this to this, you can play that as a 9 wood, genuinely. Now, sometimes it's doing the same thing, right? Like you see at its best, it can bop into this wheelhouse. Or excuse me, this one here is the 7 wood at that last setting, which your 7 wood just maybe a little bit more erratic.
Yeah.
But it's also not going quite as far, which is And again, I'll save it in the specs. Not that I need you to get this right this moment, but to say like, okay, if we did go 7 wood route, I would have it like that, just the slightly different setting than all the rest of them. The rest of them I like at that upright setting.
Yeah.
This one I just like a smidge, literally a smidge, just that 1 tick stronger lofted.
Yeah, I really was unsure of like what gappings I needed because again, I haven't had great gappings this last couple of years because I am so picky with the clubs that I have. That
right, as you should be. Like that's 100%.
I would just use it like working my way with what I had. And I know I say I like the 4 hybrid, but numbers don't lie.
They don't.
They don't.
And like when I see it this good, I mean, I think you could even make the argument that you just even bump it down to a 9 wood too. And worst case scenario, if it doesn't work, pull the 9 wood, and then but like you could have to have a shot that towers and goes about 190 is probably really useful for you.
So are you saying replace the 7-wood with a 9-wood, or go 7 and 9?
Mm-hmm. Depending on what's your longest iron right now?
6 iron.
Can we see that?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Or 172.
Man, we might not need to touch these. That is very good.
Oh man.
That is really good. In theory, what would you want this to do differently?
What, this club or?
Yeah, the irons in general. 'Cause that's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Randy Mahoney, you're our GTS winner. Shoot us a message and reclaim your prize.